Welcome, everyone. It is a beautiful Tuesday. Oh, you're okay. It's good to see you all. This morning's message, because I'm on Reddit a lot. A lot. Like I got problems. I am on Reddit a lot. And it's very interesting the kinds of questions that I see. So that's why I titled this morning's room. On Twitter, it says, Seek your own counsel. Oh, Lord, it's not that time, is it? Come on, big boy. It's not that time. Come on. It's not time for bird song. Seek your own counsel, or stop asking the how do young people say it? Stop asking the internet how you should live your life. Oh, ponder this for a moment. Good morning, my melanin darling. The question today is, why do we do that? We come online and we seek the counsel of absolute strangers. Hmm? Oh, but I'm just looking for an opinion. No, you're not. You're not looking for an opinion. You know what you want to do, but you're just a little afraid to do it. And so when you seek the counsel of another, they're only going to mirror back to you what you already feel. Hmm? Yeah, but I'm just looking for a sounding board. Get in the mirror. That's your sounding board. The mirror. We're so used to, what should I do? Can you help me make a decision? That's what we do. Now, listen, I'm not speaking to any person in particular, I'm speaking to humanity itself. Okay? Remember the process of creation always. If you remember the process of creation, and you remember that you're always creating whatever thing it is you're facing, you are wanting to create your solution. That's what you're doing at all times. At all times. I remember when I first moved here and I would call my grandfather, but granddaddy, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Granddaddy, bless him, he would say, but what does the scripture say? What does God say? I didn't understand it at the time because I was only 14. What do you mean, what does God say? I'm asking you. I'm a kid. You got to tell me. But what he was getting at was, when you take your own counsel, you begin to trust the still, small voice within. That still, small voice is never going to lead you astray. I'm telling you facts. The still, small voice, you will always recognize it in one of two ways. Well, it's just one, but here it goes. You will end up saying, "Ah, shoot, I should have done it. I should have listened." Or you will say, "Oh, I'm glad I listened to that." That is the still small voice. The moment you recognize that you should have obeyed that silent thing that you heard there, that impression that you had in the core of your being, it may have been a directive, but understand the directive was peaceful. The directive, it doesn't matter if you have to reject something. The directive, when it comes, is peaceful. Spirit does not tell you and say, well, figure that part out. Mm. You will always know. Spirit is not in the business of game playing. No, it's very clear. And it always is accompanied by this overwhelming sense of calm or peace. Because that's how you know. If you find that you're questioning it, sit down with the directive and just be there. Just sit with it, and you will discern. You will discern. I can only tell you that that voice will have you saying, I should have, or I'm glad I did. That's how you'll know. So when we call up our bestie, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. I used to have this good friend back at church years and years ago. And she would always say to me, Angela, don't say I don't know. You do know. We always know what we want to do. It's just that you might not be ready to say it, or you might be a little scared, but you always know. The reason sometimes why we think we don't know is because we want to condition what it is that we want. We've been programmed to seek permission for what we want. When in actuality, you are the creator of what it is you want to experience. That's your role. And until you practice walking in that sovereignty, you will continually rely upon the opinions of others. This is why Neville says, don't give opinion, give good news. What's the good news? The law is good news. Meaning what? It means whenever you come upon a situation in your life, look at the problem. The problem has the seed of the solution in it. The problem has the seed of the solution in it. So if you look at the problem, if you say, well, I don't want that, well, what do you want instead? If you look at what you don't want, you will clearly see what you do want. For instance, I don't want to be, I don't know, I want to have a beach body. So you say, I don't want to be plump. Okay, and what do you want then? You want to be healthier? That's what you want. So then what would what what would you look like to constitute being healthier? How would you feel? So then you get into your mind's eye and you say, okay, look, this is my ideal body. I want to be healthy here. So what would that look like to me? What would that feel like to me if I could bend over and tie my shoes and not have all the blood rush through my head like I was going to pass out? What would that be like if I could walk up a flight of stairs and my knees didn't go, what would that feel like to me? See, now you know the answer. Once you can answer the question of what would you prefer, here's the thing. I can't tell you what is best for you. I don't have that. Listen, I got power, but that one is not it. I cannot tell you what is best for you. Why not? Because I don't know what tastes sweet to you. I don't know what tastes bitter to you. Because I'm not the one with your taste. So there comes a point in your life when you have to trust yourself. As the old people would tell you, if God wills, well, I will do it if God wills it for me. Who is God? Hmm. Hmm. Is God on the outside of you? God is not outside of you. God is within you. You're the one who gets to make the choice. You see, if I come along and make the choice for you, you might not be happy with that choice. So then, to prevent dissatisfaction, take your time. Take your time to make the decision, make the choice. Here's the beautiful thing. If you make a choice and then you go, ooh, that wasn't the best thing, revise. Revise, Angela. This is new language. I don't know what that means. It means you're never stuck with a choice that you've made. Hmm? Not really. I'm not talking about if you have a baby. Oh, bad choice. Sorry. That choice is there now. What I'm talking about is, oh, look, I bought the wrong pair of shoes. Oh, look, I don't want this car. Come on. Those are the kinds of choices I'm talking about. You see, when we are, let me say it this way. This is why we take the time to make a choice. We take the time to make our choices so that we can mitigate buyer's remorse. Okay? And I know sometimes we make choices, but we make our choices, remember, from a state of being, a mental state. We will make a choice that corresponds with that mental state. So when we make choices, we make decisions. The reason why I say take your time, what mental state are you in? Always check that before you make a decision. If you are looking at your life and you say, oh, this could be better, what could be better about it? And when you answer the question of what could be better about my life, when you answer the question of what could be better about my life, sit there for a moment. What could be better? Well, you're not drawing it out of thin air. You are looking at the present. You're looking at right here, right now, at the problem. This is why you don't pretend you don't have a problem, because then you're lying to yourself. And the funny thing is, the only person that is hurt is you. So don't lie to yourself. Look at the problem. The problem is not there to beat you down or to crush you. The problem is not there to tell you, oh my God, you're so dumb. Why would you make that choice again? That is not what the problem is there to tell you. The problem is showing you the contents of your inner mental state. The problem, because it arose from your mental state. And in order to reap what you have sown, you must see the evidence of it. So, whatever's going on in your life, you don't pick up the phone and call somebody and go, oh my God, you would never believe this problem that I have. You know what that does for us? It weakens us, you know. It weakens us because we put the power outside of us now. If I say to you, do this, do it this way. Every day I give you the law so that you make your decisions from the what? The state of what? The law. The state of a creator. That's where you make your decisions from. Knowing that you are the one with the power to do it. It may just seem a little bit foreign at the moment because you've never done it before. Remember that line in The Matrix, why do my eyes hurt, Morpheus? And he says to him, because you've never used them before. That's the only reason. We haven't done it this way before. We've always been told, pray about it. But what is prayer? What is prayer? The movement towards your desire. That is prayer. Think about it. When you say, Father in heaven, Lord, I come before you. And I'm seeking your wisdom, Lord. What do I do? What did you just do? You have seen your problem and you want to get closer to your solution. That is what prayer is. The movement from your problem towards your solution. That's all any of us are ever seeking to do. And what I am telling you is you have the capacity to solve your problems. You are the savior you've been waiting for then. So, when you have a problem, identify the problem. Do not pretend that you don't have it. Identify it. Because when you identify the problem, you will begin to see the seed of the solution. You will see what the desired outcome is that you want. And when you see the desired outcome, you ask yourself, well, what would it be like if I had it? What would it be like if I got up every day from this state? Instead of getting up and being flat broke, how would I get up in the morning if I were wealthy? What would my attitude be if I were wealthy? That's what we do on a daily basis. We get up and we seek our own counsel. There's a reason for that. That is your power, my beautiful friends. It really is. Because if you don't do that, if you don't seek that counsel, well, anybody can come along and tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and why to do it. And the only person you tell that to is a servant or a slave. Okay? Masters think for themselves. Masters make the decisions. So today, as I said, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular. I'm speaking to myself and humanity as a whole. Anytime I want to pick up the phone and, oh my God, what do I do? I'm like, I catch myself and I say, okay, look, what's my problem? And for some of us, talking through it is not always simple because we don't speak. That may not be your forte. Your forte may be to write things down, right? That may be your forte. So write it down. That's why I use the law of polarity. I look at where I'm at and what I am doing. And then I decide, okay, look, I see this problem over here on the left side. And you list all of them. And you go over to the right side and you go, well, remember, here's the example. If on the left side you said your bare feet, what do you think the solution would be? It wouldn't be a brand new handbag because you're bare feet. So the solution would be shoes. If you are naked on the left, what's the solution on the right? Clothing. You see, always in the same nature. So keep yourself always in line with law. It tells you the universe is a mental creation. It tells you we are always thinking. That is the design. The mind thinks. That is its function. But instead of giving it a deliberate thought to have, we allow it to run amok. And this is why we feel the chaos. Because we don't discipline our minds. Meaning, if I put my mind to look at that red dot and it goes towards the green dot, I get up and I go, oh my God, what am I doing? No. Gently bring your mind back to the red dot every single time. Focus. Focus. When you focus, what are you focusing on? You're not focusing on the problem. You are assessing the problem to see the solution. I told us a long time ago, don't seek to be a problem solver because that means you're creating problems to solve. And nobody likes that. So seek the best course of action at all times. Create your ideal situation, and it comes through practice. What do you want? See yourself as having it. by asking the question, what would it be like if I had it? What would my attitude be like? How would I speak to people? Remember, we do very mundane things in life. Rumor has it that somebody has a gold toilet. Rumor has it. Allegedly, I don't know. I'm just making an observation. I'm saying something here to you. We do the most mundane tasks. If you got up in the morning and pooped in a golden potty, how would you feel? How would you see the world? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Because we think that this may be funny or crass, but how would you go to the potty if you were a happily married person? How would you go? Is that person going to be in there with you? Are you that comfortable? You see what I'm getting at here to you? We do things every single day. How would you do those things if you were the man or the woman you said you now want to be? It is accompanied by a particular state of mind. What state of mind would you be in? Ah, now when you feel that state of mind, because you do, you test it out. You say, well, yeah, this feels good. And your body says, yes, it does. Now, that thing, that new state of mind, is presently invisible. You can see it because it's in your mind's eye. Me walking past you, I don't know what you got going on in there. So to me, it is invisible. So because here's what we do, right? As our weakness. So because I can't see it, because I can't see it, I come along and tell you what it's not possible because I can't see it. This is why when you seek your own counsel, you remember that, wait a minute, this is my inner world. I am seeing it here. And as long as I persist in seeing it there, it has to come together in the outside world. And I know that you may doubt me, but I will give it to you raw. Jesus, give us strength. If you are a seamstress, do I see the dress? If you're a tailor, do I see the suit? No. I don't see that suit until I put it on. But the tailor or the seamstress or the potter at the wheel or the chef in the kitchen, they see everything in their mind's eye. The writer of the book, they see all the words just floating there, and they're like Kermit the Frog, and they're typing frantically. They see it. So the thing that you see in your inner world is not invisible to you. It is real to you, the thing you are creating. So when you see it there in your mind's eye, how is that person going to wear that dress that you've made for them, wear that suit that you made for them? The architect, he sketches out what the house would look like, or what the building would look like, or what the bridge would look like. And he notices, oh, look, traffic would be diverted this way if I build it this way. But is it invisible? To us on the outside, it is. So when he goes and he sits down at his easel to draw, and he says, okay, here's how I'm going to do it. And he puts that first line on the page, and he feels inadequate. And he goes and he says, look, I want to do this thing. I want to build this thing and have it do this, and this. You think that's a good idea? He's the one with the vision. Your vision has to stir you up, not me. Your vision has to move you. That is why you know what it's feeling like. The law of correspondence, as within, so without. You reap what you've sown. You are the one. So practice the art of trusting and seeking your own inner counsel. Instead, every day I see things like, oh my God, I've upset my husband, or I've upset my wife. What should I do? Wait, what? I live with your husband or your wife? No, I don't. So how can I tell you what's best for you and them? You have to know. You're the one who has to know. And you know by always asking the question, what do I want? Not, is it possible what I want? Is it right for me? How will you know it's right for you until you test it out? And where do you test it out? You test it out in your mind's eye. Listen, let's pull a Nikola Tesla. You don't know that name? You do. Do as Nikola Tesla did. What did he do? Before he put anything on paper, before he put anything in brick and mortar, he worked it out in his mind's eye first. He said, okay, I'm going to put this here. If I put this here, how's it going to work? If I put that there, how's it going to work? Because he has an image, a final image of how it should be. And so he does a test run in his mind. So when he's worked out all the bugs, then he builds it. Then he builds it. You see, that is what we're supposed to do in the first place. That's what we do. So when you are dealing with a problem, remember, it is not there to beat you down or to tell you how inadequate you are. It is simply showing you the contents of your own mind through your what? Your behavior. You always have to know what it is you're thinking. And the only way we do that is you see it on the outside. The contents of your own mind manifest. So if you're looking at something that is not delightful, what would you prefer it to be? Not whether it is possible, but what would you prefer it to be? Not if, well, I can't accomplish that. That's too grand for me. I'm not good enough for something. No. What do you want to experience in your life? That is the question. And when you answer the question, because you're not asking it to me, are you? You're asking that question to whom? Oh, you. You're asking yourself that question. And from the depths of you, the answer emerges. That's why I say recognize the state that you're in always. If you're in a state of total confusion, right? What do you think your decisions will look like? If you are in a state of calm, well, now you can look at things. You can look at it now. Oh, I hit the first snooze. Okay, let me try again. Snooze. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. Let me move, y'all. Hold on. One moment, please. Sorry. I hit snooze the first time and it worked. 2 times in a row. I wasn't so fortunate. Okay. What do you want to experience? Name it. Whatever that is. And when you go through the images in your mind of, oh, it would be like this or it would be like that, that's when you say to yourself, well, maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be. Well, let me see it anyway. Let me test it out anyway. Do it. Remember that time where Neville Goddard in his lecture said he wanted to have his son with him because he was married previously and they had a son together. And so he wanted to have his son live with them. And he just, it was just there. He wanted that. But then one day, as if out of the blue, the ex-wife phones and says, listen, my house is not big enough for 2 men. Your son is almost whatever age he is, 14. And I have a new man and it's just not going to cut it. Remember what Neville did? Neville was like, well, I'd like my son to come and live with me. And so he saw his son at the dinner table with the family. He put his hand on his shoulder. Now, Neville was very visual because Neville was a dancer. So dancers see the moves and they feel the moves. That was Neville's forte. And he also heard. Those were his strongest senses, yes? And so that's what he wanted, his son to come and live with his new family. And sure enough, an opportunity, seemingly out of the blue, arose. But did it just crop up? No, that is what he wanted. And he saw his son at the dinner table. He put his hand on his shoulder at the table. He didn't seek anybody's counsel to say, hey, should I have my son live with me? No, he knew what he wanted. He knew what he wanted, and he applied the law every single time. This is what I want. What would it be like? And he saw it, or he felt it, or he touched it. He interacted with it in his mind's eye. Just like when he wanted to be honorably discharged from the army. He first of all went and he said to his colonel, I'd like to be discharged, please. His colonel was like, are you for real? As you were. So Neville lay in his bed, I think he said 9 days. He got up and he did what he needed to do as a private. He got up, he did his stuff, he did his drills, whatever. But at night, he would lay in his bed and he would see himself in his apartment with his family. He's talking to them, he's interacting with them, and he did it for 9 consecutive nights. On the final night he did it, a letter appeared before his mind's eye. And it wrote something, and then, if memory serves me correctly, it said, do no more, it is done, something along those lines. And so, when he got up that following morning, he was summoned. And the colonel said, listen, you're honorably discharged. 9 days Neville did it. Okay? Neville didn't play around, but he learned. Abdullah said to him, you are in Barbados, okay? You know why he said it? Neville wanted to go home to Barbados, but he didn't have any money. If you heard him tell the story, he said he only had but 5 cents to his name. He had no money to get a steamship to go home to Barbados. So he went to Abdullah. Hear me when I say he went to Abdullah and said, listen, I really would like to go home. Abdullah said to him, Abdullah didn't give him an opinion. Abdullah said to him, walk the streets as if you were walking in Barbados. See the world that you're in now from Barbados. And Neville was like, what? Well, that doesn't make any sense. What do you mean, see the world from? And Abdullah said, listen, you are in Barbados. And the best part of that story was he closed the door in Neville's face. So Neville had to learn to apply the law to every situation. So what did he do? He saw himself asleep on his bed in Barbados in his father's house. Night after night after night after night. He deliberately did it until he got this letter in the mail. Coincidentally, I'm being facetious when I say coincidentally because we know it's not a coincidence. A letter from his brother saying, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. Here's a ticket. Here's some money for some clothes. Why don't you come home? See? Now, here's the thing. When you get into your mind's eye and you live as if you were, Neville says if one person is required, they will come and they will play their part. If 10,000 people are required, they come and they play their part. Everyone acts according to the mental state that they reside in. Everybody. That there is no exception to that because that is the nature of man. So when you are seeking counsel, the one in the mirror that you're going to look at, that's the part you can see. But the part you can't see, that's who you're talking to, which is yourself. It might feel a little funny at first when you say, wait, so there's not two of me, there's just one. Well, yeah, there's only one of you. It looks like two, but there is only one. There's only one of you. There's only one thing animating your body, and that is you, right? Normally, I say, imagine a funeral. Normally, I say that, but today it bears more weight. You know I love you. Today it bears a little bit more weight. When you go to the funeral, what happens? We look at that form and we say, oh my God, well, they're gone. Who's gone? Their body's right in front of you, but yet you are saying they are gone. Only one thing is gone, isn't it? And that is you. So when you look in the mirror, take your time to look at yourself. And you will begin to realize that you are looking at you. The formless you is looking at the formed you. But it is only the formless that has taken shape. So there's only one thing. So when you're talking to yourself, you're not nuts. You're actually speaking to you. You are the part of you that you cannot see, the part of you that leaves. That's who you're talking to, yourself. And you have the answers. You just don't trust yourself all that much yet. Well, how does one acquire trust? By how? Well, when you say yes, it is yes. When you say no, it is no, which means you are reliable. So how do you test yourself? By creating. So if you say, well, I tried to create this, stop yourself and ask, you did what now? I tried. Remember what we learned last night. You see, when we create from our state, because I shouldn't say create, when we animate the state, because the state is just there. It's like many doors, and you're going to go into one of them. That's what we do. The state already exists, and we just go in and out of them. When you go into a state, you are taking life into that state. You are. I can't take the life into the state for you. You have to physically do that after you do it mentally, because that's how you'll know what to do physically, is you've done it mentally. Now the seed is growing, and it can only blossom in its nature. You reap what you sown. So when you go into the state, you stay there until the thing that you have planted emerges. But what do? Because we read it last night. We pop out of that state that we want to be in, and we say, oh my God, it's not here yet. It's taking so long. That's what we do to ourselves. And we get frustrated, and all we're frustrated and tired of doing is being inconsistent. I'm going to say it again. All that we're doing is being tired and frustrated with being inconsistent. Popping ourselves from one state to the next because we're in a hurry. We don't remain faithful to the state. So here's the process. What do you want? Once you answer that question, what would it be like if? Because now when you ask yourself what it would be like, now you know the state to occupy, the state to embody. Right? And when you see that state, go in it. Go in that state because it feels good to you. Oh, I would do this. I would do that. It would feel amazing. Blah, 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 blah. It'd be great. See how good that feels? Remain there mentally. You get up, you go do your chores, all the mundane tasks. You get up and you go do them. You just go and you do them. But anytime the thought emerges of, oh, please, this is never going to work, that's not going to happen, when that happens, you've fallen from the state that you want to be in. So you go back. How do you go back? By reenacting what it would be like. Because here's the phrase that Neville uses: experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you were the man or the woman you said you wanted to now be. That's what you do. And you get a scene. You really do. The worst case scenario, we practice that, don't we? Too much. But what if you practice the best case scenario? What would you see yourself doing? I said to you this morning, how would you poop in a gold potty? So imagine yourself doing that. What would that feel like? Well, it'd be cold unless you have a seat warmer. Yikes. What would it be like? And there's that scene that you would get. That one thing that would stand out to you that confirms to you, yeah, I am that. I am that. And that is where you go. Whenever the doubt arises of, well, that's not possible, go back to it. Remember, it's invisible. It's invisible, not impossible. It's invisible. And once you remain faithful to the invisible, because you know it is inevitable, it has to happen, let it do its thing. You don't have to force it. How come you don't have to force it? Because the state has its way. You plant peas, those peas have a particular way of sprouting. Do you have to force them? No, you just plant it and nurture them. So nurture your inner vision by not squashing it with doubt. Nurture it and go back to that one thing that confirms for you, I did it. Go back to that every time. And when you do that, you will notice. You'll notice, oh yeah, that feels good. I'm being faithful to the state. How do you know you're being faithful to the state? Because you're not saying things like, oh my God, this is taking too long. Oh my God, is it here yet? I must have done something wrong. You're not asking that because you are fully enamored with the fact that you've created this thing in your mind's eye and you've planted a seed and it's coming to fruition. That's what you're doing. That's where you're busy. You're busy. You're occupied with the contents of your own mind and breathing life into it every single day. Deliberately, you're doing it. Notice that. Deliberately, you catch yourself if you fall from the state. And deliberately, you put yourself back in it. What is that called? Focus. And so when you do that, you're not concerned with how long is it taking. That's not your concern. Listen, your seeds sprout and they grow. Spring is swiftly approaching. Well, for us, spring came in like a lamb. Spring is not in a hurry right now. But that's what it is. That's what you do. Decide what it is you want to experience. And then experience in imagination what you would experience in reality if you had it. Because you're giving it to yourself. You're moving yourself from wanting it and longing and hoping and pining for it into having it, which is experiencing it inside your imagination. Listen, we do this every day. You go somewhere, you go to the barber, all he does is turn you in the chair for a little bit. He's like, and you say, take a little off the sides. He's seen it in his mind's eye. He's recreating. This is why you tell your stylist what kind of cut you want. You are transferring your image, which is invisible, from your mind to your barber's mind. So that when those two things, and you know if they match, because you'll get either the desired haircut or not. Right? How good are you at doing that? Transferring from your mind to your barber. You see, we do it all the time. You go somewhere, you try on a new pair of shoes, or you try on a new scarf or a new hat or a new coat. You have already chosen every single outfit it's going to go with. Did you try on every single outfit physically? Nope. You tried on every single outfit mentally. You saw them flash before your eyes. That's what you did. You're walking down the grocery store in the produce aisle and you smell a passion fruit or you smell a guava. Oh, shoot. You've already made the dish based upon those two smells. Where did you make the dish? In your mind's eye. I am telling you that you do this already. You already have an image in your mind. It is just that we stifle our images with things like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know anybody. I don't have any money. That's what we do. And then what happens? We squash it. But the funny thing is, you've only squashed the image, but you can't get rid of that feeling, can you? No, not until you fulfill it because it haunts you. So that's why I am telling you, if you remain faithful like the artist is at the easel when he tells you, stop scratching so I can draw you properly. What is he doing? He's holding and he's being faithful to the image so that he can recreate you on the canvas or the screen of life. That's what you and I are doing when we continually experience in imagination what we would experience in reality. That's what we're doing day in and day out. So just in case you thought I was full of it, I'm telling you we do it day in and day out. It's just that we don't do it deliberately. We do it unwittingly, unbeknownst to ourselves, we do it. Why do we do it? Because we follow a nature. That is how we do it. So if you know that our nature is to create the images that are in our minds, that's why Neville says, if you're going to have an image in your mind, have a good one. Why? Because the thing you return to over and over and over again, you recreate in your world. You want a good thing? Well, but that depends on you. What's good for you? Because what's good for the goose may not always be good for the gander. That's why you seek your own counsel. So today I trust that it makes sense that you comprehend what it is we do as humanity. So the contents of your mind, if you see yourself as a failure, you will look back through your life and see every single thing you failed at. Well, you couldn't be, you see, you have successfully failed. Why? Because you think you are a failure. And as a man thinketh, therefore he is. So today, if you want to stop being a failure, you have to see yourself as a success. But what would that look like to you? If you got up in the morning and you had successfully created what you wanted to, how would that make you feel? Who's the first person that would have something to say? That's how you change your life. And you go back to that moment in your mind's eye of your success and you relive it over and over and over again. Because what are you doing now? Going back to the failure in your mind and living it out every single day. This is our nature. We create. The moment you are aware of yourself, I am. You can forget your name. You can forget where you are, but you can't forget that you are. That's always the first part, self. But then the self does something. Let there be light. And there was. You see, the self creates the awareness, the mind, consciousness. It is only self. All fancy words that say self. So when you are seeking your own counsel, it is self. Not George's counsel, but self. So get into your mind's eye. And it doesn't matter how, quote unquote, good you've been, bad you've been. Those things don't matter because it rains on the wicked as well as the righteous. everybody creates. Everybody creates, because that is our nature. So if you know your nature is to create, then create good things. See the good in your mind's eye. What do you want to experience? See it in your mind's eye and experience it there. And I've given you many examples. The chef, the seamstress, the barber, all of them. Even the conductor of the orchestra. He's looking at a piece of sheet music. You think he's looking at notes? No, he's hearing the notes as he looks at them. But the orchestra is not playing. So how is he possibly hearing music? He must be mad. No, he's not. He is looking at a piece of music and he hears it. That's how come he knows when the flutist is off, because he's already heard the flute from the music itself that he was just looking at. He taps the thing and he says, hey, that's the wrong note. Because he's already heard it in his mind's eye. So if you continually hear, now he didn't just wake up one morning and he could read music. Maybe he could. Maybe he's just one of them. And that's all right. But he still practices. I like Neville Goddard's example. Was it Mozart? Lord, I hope it was Mozart, or was it Beethoven? He went deaf. You know who I'm talking about. He went deaf. But because he went deaf on the outside, it did not stop the music from the inside. So then let me ask you this question. If he had said, well, I am deaf now, I can't create music anymore, the world would not be as vibrant as it is, would it? No, because he heard the music inside, and that's what he replicated on the outside. So where does it matter? It matters what you hold to be true on the inside of yourself. So if you say, I don't have any confidence, what would confidence feel like? How would you act if you were confident? See that. Don't call George and say, oh my God, George, I don't have any confidence. Give me some. You think it's perfume in a bottle? No. See confidence. See it. Because once you see it and you identify it as being confident, you embody it now. You give it life, and then you become confident. You see it in your mind's eye, and you start seeing yourself walk and talk in a whole new way. Listen, when you walk into a room, because you are seeing yourself as confident, you walk the way you have practiced walking in your mind's eye. But if you continually see yourself as, oh, little old me, then you will walk into a room the same way you walk into that room in your mind's eye. Seek your own counsel. Let us say hello to everybody, because somebody's been yakety-yakking all morning. Who's here on YouTube? Hey, Checkmate's in the house. Ruby, she says, I can honestly say I was doing exactly that until I understood the whole journey, and the me until of lately. Ah, exactly, Ruby. She says she took advice as needed, but it is the I am that she's training and learning to hear. Yes, Ruby. And Ruby is an artist, so she knows keenly what I'm talking about. Hello, son. A-Not is in the house, too. Well, you're the ones who've made yourselves known here in the chat on YouTube and Facebook. The others, I see you. Twitter, who's here? Who's here on Twitter this morning? I got to bring the phone a little closer. Come a little closer so I can see you. Money Time. Hello, you're new to me. I've never said your name before. Driving Tea. Hey, it's Symmetric. Hi, I see you. And Let's Go. Welcome to the space this morning here on Twitter. What a pleasure it is to meet you all. We made some new friends today, y'all. Who's here on fan base? I didn't see the chat. Ooh, the chat is bumping. We're Lord, let Oracle Treehouse be in the room. Flo Smiles. Wait, Flo Smiles. How'd you get down there? And I see Dua. Hey, Moon. Hey, Monique. It's good to see you guys. 808's in the house. Afternoon Delight is in the building. Hello, Stephanie. Oh, Marquise. Marquise came into the room when my eyes were closed. I see you, Marquise. Supreme King. Hello, Vaughn. Oh, Lala is in the house. Summer Rose is in the house. My Melanin. Stranger, I haven't seen you in a while. Miss Boricua. Joaquin. Oracle Treehouse. Shea Butter. Look at you guys are in here. Oh, Delight, you were busy. Delight took notes and they are in the chat. Silver Fox was here? Wow, I didn't even know Silver Fox was in the house. And Adonis. Oh, Adonis was here. Adonis said, when I started living like a success, I started to become successful. Well, hello, as within, so without. So yes. Yes, Supreme King, one must reflect. And the only way to reflect is to what? Project it outward. You see? So you're the one who's got to tell people how you want to be treated because that's the way you see you. We call them boundaries. It's just the image you've got of yourself, huh? Listen. And yes, Supreme, there's always a resolution. No one lives in vain. But you cannot give up on your vision, my beautiful friends. It may be invisible at this time, but so long as you persist, it becomes inevitable. It means it must outpicture itself so long as you remain faithful to it, because without you breathing life into it, how can life be sustained? You are life. Hello. But don't let me preach this morning. Don't let me preach. So today, my beautiful friends, my melanin, just listen for yourself. Yes, everyone has to walk their own journey. Don't worry about most people. That is their work and their journey. Yes, my melanin, everybody's got their own journey. We all do. Yes, and they're the director of their journey. Marquise. Marquise, that's because you might choose violence. Marquise says he always pictured Abdullah slapping Neville. Because that's what it felt like, right? When he slammed the door, he's like, you were in Barbados, bam. But this is what it is. Begin right now. Take a moment, because I'm going to play the bowl in a moment. Well, I'll play the recording of the bowl. If you're not driving, you understand? If you're driving, focus on the road, y'all. But when you hear the bowl this morning, what is it that you want to call forth from yourself? Rise, my creation, rise. That's what you're doing day in and day out. You are creating things and breathing life into them. Let today be a new dawn, a new day, a new life, right? Hey, they can get you one way, but not always. But I digress. Then you see it in your mind's eye as you hear the bowl this morning. You see how good it makes you feel? Remember, it is only invisible for a time, like the bamboo farmer. His bamboo shoots are invisible for 4 years. This man is out there watering what seems like an empty field. But don't get it twisted. The bamboo has burrowed itself down. It has not broken the surface yet. It is invisible at this moment. Your vision is invisible at this moment. But so long as you remain faithful and nurture it, like bamboo, it sprouts. And bamboo, let me tell you, is the most durable thing, y'all. Even if you burn it, you didn't kill it. You've got to poison it. You hear that? If you poison your dream, it dies. But your dream is resilient. Just nurture it. How do you poison your dream? I can't do that. I'm not good enough. My mother said I'd never. That's how you poison yourself. So stop it. Speak life into yourself. Yes, I can do this. And when you say, yes, I can do this, you're not speaking idle words. You're saying, yes, I can do this. I am doing it. And the more you declare and claim that to yourself, it fires you up. So when you hear the bowl this morning, and you may hear a bird song, I don't know, we'll see how he feels. Begin to stir that vision up within you. And remember, it's like bamboo. It's like bamboo, invisible, but not. It's invisible to your naked eye. It might be invisible to my naked eye, but to your invisible eye, you see invisible things. Remember that. Let me get this bowl out. Ooh, went too far. Look at that. Ah. Give it a moment. Focus yourself and feel the reality of your vision. Let it stir you up. Let it rouse you. Take your time. Minute. Countdown initiated. Hello, Jeff. 5, 4, 3, 2. Money time. It's symmetric. And Driving Tea, thank you for being here today. You know I'll see you tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for the lecture. I don't remember the name of the lecture, but we'll be here tonight, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Much love to you all, and thank you again for spending your early morning with me. Toodaloo, enjoy the beautiful day, and remember, even though your vision may be invisible, seek your own counsel. Much love, Twitter. Much love. Twitter is closed. YouTube and Facebook, Jeff Darling. Checkmate. Ruby, Sun, A-Not, and for the others who've not made themselves known, I see you. Enjoy the beautiful day. And remember, take a moment to seek your own counsel. Yes? Indeed. Quick announcement. I haven't forgotten you all with the Barbados trip, you know. I haven't. Just waiting to hear back from the BTA, Barbados Tourism Authority, and I will do a post and send out the link as soon as I have the information. Yes, that's what I will be doing. And so remember to, if you haven't yet, remember to pre-order your Hermetic Oracle cards. That's going. We do have a deadline, March 31st. No pressure. So YouTube and Facebook, you know I love you, and I will see you tonight.